Danny, first I must thank you for coming to visit in Malawi, and also for remembering the children, because you had visited us during your last visit and you met some of the children. For the school fees, each child, for most of the community day secondary schools now, these are the ones that are staying at home and they go to school. The requirements for fees is about 5,000 kwacha per child per term, and we have 3 terms, so that translates into 15,000 for each child. When they are in classes that require to take special exams, like when they are in Form 2 or they are in the fourth form, then we also have some registration for the exams that they do. So apart from that, and there's the textbooks that they require, so sometimes we also supplement that. And as you are aware, most of these children, some have lost both parents, some have lost one parent, and the reasons for most of them losing the parents vary. But for the last couple of years, the real issue has been HIV as the background that has led to the loss. Although now, with most of the drugs being available for most parents who have the infection, I think the dying rate is going down, but we still have the problems of these children.
Dia amiga inu ho Yesu kango fugo inu la yuda. Dia amiga inu ho Yesu kango fugo inu la yuda. Hidden dia amiga inu ho Yesu kango fugo la yuda. Irem di amiga, iru ho Yesu kango fugo inu la yuda. Irem di amiga, iru ho kango fugo inu la yuda.
We formed a foundation. We have an Eta Banda foundation, and within it we have an education component, because we have several aspects that we look at. There's the support for the children within this foundation. We also do support for the elderly, and we also look at support for women in general for various issues. So this particular support that you have provided me for links in with the support for the children. So the school age going children will benefit from this. Under normal circumstances here, it's very difficult for the children, because let's take most of these schools within a certain radius from their villages. So some of them will walk 3-4 kilometers to get to school. And if you recall, Danny, with the first set of money that you brought us last year, in fact, we divided it into, we used it to provide desks. At the time we were thinking, should we do desks for secondary schools? Because even where they were coming from primary schools. So if you recall, we used it for, we managed to get 50 desks for the primary school. Because even there they were having difficulties. They want to write exams, but they couldn't use this school as a center because they couldn't have anywhere where the kids could sit and write exams. So even in secondary schools, sometimes you have similar problems of desks. And transportation, I have seen of late, some of the parents or communities also have tried to get bicycles for the children so they can cycle to school. So that's also an area that perhaps one needs to look at, especially for this secondary school age, because it's difficult, 3-4 kilometers each way for a child who may have left home without breakfast and stuff like that. It's tough on them, but they do it and they do well in school in spite of all that. This money, because we will be using almost 5,000 per child per term, And for this academic year, the term 1 is gone, so we are starting with this to help them and supplement from term 2. So we are hoping that this will help about 40 to 45 children. And the fact that we will join in at term 2 means that we may also have a little bit left over to begin them the transition of the September class. So that's how this will be used. Yes, first it's really to thank everybody who has worked with Danny and Susan to make sure that we get this funding for the children, and that this is not the first time you have done it. This is the second time you are doing it, and for us we appreciate. So on behalf of the children who are not here, I would like to sincerely thank you all, and hope that as you continue to support us, you know that the children are getting better because of this. Just a bit of some good news that you might want to also know. In the last exams for the 4th year, most of the children that we were supporting on this Eta Banda Foundation, some of them have been selected to go into university. So we have some that we've managed to help them access higher education through this. It's been raining continuously for 3-4 days. Because of that, some of our rivers have overflown, flooded. In fact, in the southern region of the country, we have had a disaster because of the floods. Some of this water is coming from the northern region because the lake, which puts out water towards the southern tip, it's also been raining. So the places you visited last, we were concerned that maybe if you came to the lake this time, and since your program is very tight, in case there was a breakdown in one of the bridges, you might be stranded and miss your flight. So that's why we thought, no, it's better to be safe and therefore meet you in Mzuzu. But we are hoping that when you next come, you come during the dry seasons, and that our rains will have stopped and you will be able to have access to the children and the headmasters. But the message will be taken to the headmasters.
Good. Thank you very much, Eta, and it's really nice to know that this money we've raised will go to a very good cause. Thank you.
Kango fugo la yu irem di amiga inu ho Yesu kango fugo inu la yu irem di amiga inu ho inu kango fugo inu la yu